Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today we're going to I'm just going to call it a special reading. My plan was to take the day off, but then I kept getting this urge to do this reading, which are my spirit guides urging me. Um, and it's relating to soulmates. So I just did a twin flame reading. I did a past life reading that really connected the two, but we also had soulmates in that reading, in the past life reading. So I feel like this is why I'm meant to do this reading. I have a feeling this reading is going to be very clear. I'm hoping we can get actual signs. And you know me, normally I don't even like to talk about the signs because I feel like we carry a little bit of everything. But this reading is for soulmates who I definitely feel are coming together this year, um, and hopefully sooner versus later. So I brought out all the big guns as it relates to love. We're going to use the Psychic Tarot for the main spread. We'll use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I have the clarifying love situations. Put them over here. Actually, let's put them right there. I have the Romance Angels and the Major Arcanas, which we'll use them as bullet points, but I have a feeling this is also going to give us some signs. The only thing I worry about saying it's going to give us signs is the reading could be for you, but you may not see your sign. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is just take a moment and just kind of calm your mind, let go of any expectations, and certainly call in your spiritual team. By the way, I already have. When I do a reading, I do read through my spirit guides, and I know they connect to who's ever going to be drawn to this reading. And I feel like you'll be drawn through your spirit guides. So your spirit guides are going to urge you. You may skip past the reading, and something's going to make you go back. Um, I feel that confident in this reading. Like I definitely felt like I was meant to do this reading. So right now it's really for all signs. It really is for all signs, but we will try to get as much detail as we can. Um, so soulmates, but soulmates that I feel are coming together this year. You don't have to know each other. Some of you may already know who it is. Um, but we're going to leave it open and just trust our spiritual team to guide us. Okay. So I'm going to start with the major arcanas. And I just realized I didn't bring Mother Mary out. So, I think we'll bring her out at the end of the reading this time. So let's start with the major arcanas. Everything's always pre-shuffled before you get here, by the way. It's really where I'm just meditating on um, what my guides are really looking for. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the lid down. Let's begin. Make sure I have my cards in the upright. All right, so we start with the High Priestess, your intuition, which is exactly what I want you to trust in this reading, is your intuition. You know, I feel like in my readings, you should feel them. It is a true energy exchange. I feel like we're reading soul to soul, like I'm connecting to your soul. And that's why I feel like one reading can resonate with so many because it really is a soul to soul connection. So the high priestess, your intuition, your higher self, this is where you go for your answers. And then try not to second guess them if you can. Also, I like that she's a number 11. Um, I don't know why, but I associate love with 11 or 1111. 1111 I kind of associate with twin flames, but just the 11 is making me already think of love. And those two ones, add them together, it'd be a two. Some of you may have a life path two or a personal year two. That could certainly be a clue for some. I love that she's got like this fairy dust all around her. It's like making miracles happen. And then we have the strength card of Leo. So our first sign, we have Leo. Now, the strength card really talks about you. It talks about going within, finding balance within oneself. It's about, taming that beast within us, which we all have. This person is in harmony with, let's just say, the king of the jungle. This person's in harmony. So it means that I know my shadow self. I know my light self. I know who I am. And I feel like that's an important component as it relates to love. Like, I know who I am. I feel like definitely some of you have overcome a lot. Um, I'm noticing her goggles, the infinity, and which is perfect when you're doing a soulmate reading, as above, so below. No beginning, no end. And that is the truth. Like, you know each other on a soul level. Um, I was going to say whether you come together or not, but this reading is for those that I feel would, well, and I want to take out the word feel. This is for those who will be coming together. We have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. This is about your belief system. It's interesting. We have an 8, which does speak of a new beginning, and then 5, which speaks of change, but gracefully, as graceful as possible. The Hierophant really wants you to question your belief system. Ask yourself, am I living life according to my terms, my morals? And if not, why? Because I get this feeling that you know better. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean that as in, well, you probably feel it in your intuition. So there could be some old energy that you might have been connected to. It just seems or feels like of a different vibration. When it comes to love, I feel, especially soulmates or twin flames, I feel like chances are we've had separate relationships, maybe separate marriages. Um, I do feel like there'd be a lot of wisdom. Hierophant, I love this image. I always feel like Hierophant's about to bless something. So let's follow that. Okay. Wasn't going to take that many, but oh, that's a lot. Hmm. Actually, I don't think I want to take all of them. I know some people are yelling at me right now. Okay, I'll take them all. I can feel it. Like some people are like, no, Sandy, take it all. Okay. We have the moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. Interesting. I just did the full moon in Virgo, which will be March 14th, I believe. And I don't know. I felt like it was a magical reading. So I feel like something is telling me this may be around a full moon. The Hierophant right before that also, I feel like it's the perfect time to reflect upon, like, especially if you want to bring better into your life, then I got to know, like, what's not working, who's not working. Um, but I'm also feeling the energy of something happening around a full moon. We have the Death card of Scorpio. We have Hello Lovers. Hello Lovers. part of Gemini. The only reason why I don't like taking a whole lot is I really want you to be able to see them. And yeah. Anyways, so Gemini, the lovers. The meaning of this card's ahead of her heart decision. I could see that. But I love that we also have the lovers out. And I love this image because these lovers are being influenced by an angel. You know, it's Cupid, but I feel this means that your spiritual team is helping to bring two together. And then we have the hangman. But slow down, you move too fast. Okay, so the hangman is a pause in the action. But the hangman is seeking wisdom, spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. And then we have beautiful judgment, your spiritual team. Geez, this is like going to go across my whole table. This is important because judgment is calling you to the present moment. And I feel like this is good news. Um, you know how I was saying I feel that these soulmates are going to come together this year. Well, now I am feeling sooner versus later, you know, but in divine timing. Let's just put it that way. But again, judgment calls you to the present moment. And there's a reason because they send you signs in the present moment, especially with intuition here. This is where they help guide you, like that feeling, that instinct. Looking over at the hangman, you know, the hangman swaying towards judgment. So I feel like I am seeking judgment's wisdom, which again is your spiritual team. And they're listening. They hear you. And then last but not least, look at this, the world, the next chapter. And to me, the world signifies something is going to happen that has an opportunity to last the rest of your life. The world to me is also very spiritual energy. This is where I'm becoming very comfortable walking hand in hand with my spirituality on this earthly plane. This is the next portal. To me, this is a great omen. And right now, it's mirroring the high priestess, your intuition. So yeah, it's mirroring your intuition, which is fantastic because judgment like wants to send you signs. I feel like for some of you, this is something you've been waiting for. You know, like I don't feel like you're here because you have no interest in soulmates. I feel like you're here because you do. Whether you have someone already on your mind, again, a head over heart decision. But I feel like the hangman is asking, asking your spiritual team to, you know, bring in divine timing. I feel like half this reading is talking about the letting go of something, letting go of, let's just say, lower vibrational energy. Especially if you're trying to manifest, then you want to manifest out of positivity, like believe that it can be so. But also remember that, especially when your spiritual team is involved, whoever this soulmate is, it could be someone completely unexpected, but going with that flow. I feel like intuitively you'll know very quickly. You'll be able to feel it. The death card does feel, though, like there does need to be a door that's closed and I feel like it's also talking about you and the growth that you've had. And it feels like it's almost like you're moving to the next dimension. Will you allow yourself? Death card's in the middle of the reading right now, which is interesting. And the death card's about transformation. Could be some type of transformation within the lover's energy. I feel like each one of these lovers has their own plight, so to speak, their own um, lessons, their own experiences. Not all of them were good, but all of them feel important. Like I wouldn't be the person I am today without, well, let's just say knowing the things that you've overcome. But I feel like your soulmate probably has also overcome similar type energy. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. I'm sorry, let's bring in the Psychic Tarot. But how beautiful. So if we go from the Death card, right, where this is where we're closing the door, and it could just be an energetic door. This is where I feel like a lot of you are living life according to your terms again. It's like the reclaiming of one's life. Also, the reclaiming of one's energy and belief system, which I feel is really important. So, transformation and then boom. Or let's look at it this way, a death card, closing of a door, but it promises that a new door will always open. Well, look at the new door. It consists of the lovers. Hangman's like when? Judgment's like soon. Hang in there. Hang in there. And I just love that we have the world because literally why I'm doing this reading is because I want to know about the next chapter of these soulmates when they come together. And the world definitely would signify that. I'm going to give them one more. That was perfect. Let's give them a cut. And let's begin. Hmm. Movement, choices, decisions. That makes sense with the 5 and an 8, right? The 8, a new beginning. But again, you're connected with that new beginning above and below. So remember how I said the lovers is ahead of a heart decision? I feel like here you are making that decision. Movement, choices, decisions. And I love that it's a 2 because again, I don't know. When I think of love, I feel like life paths twos or those in a personal year 2. Oh, look at this strength card now in reverse. And that can signify that someone hasn't overcome certain things, but I have to tell you, I feel this is signifying that you have. We could be waiting for the other one. Tower. Coming right under a death card. First thing it makes me feel like is if I look back at my life, And I look at the relationships that ended, and I think about everyone, like when I was in that energy, how difficult it was. And sometimes we feel like, this is it. My life is over. But it's really not the case. I feel like this is really your spiritual team helping you to move forward. It's interesting now because I'm feeling the strength card in reverse could also be someone that you've dealt with who maybe really had no interest in evolving. Um, and therefore this tower had to happen. But, there is life after the tower. Definitely, there's life after the tower. Someone could have thrown you a tower. But listen, again, I feel like any towers, it was really to align you with this energy. We have the Ace of Swords. Interesting. Could be some type of communication. It's called triumphant success here. It's coming under the lovers. Also connected to the hangman. I feel like what's ever spoken in with the Ace of Swords, it's truth, like real truth. It could also signify that this is I don't feel like this is for everyone, but for some of you, it could be like unexpected communication that comes in. We have the Eight of Cups. Now, a lot of people would look at this and be like, but this is actually a good energy. This is exactly what I feel like we need. This is really clearing of the emotional house. Here it is called emotional withdrawal. But if you just look at the image, this person sitting at the water's edge, they're in this prayerful state. We do have the Hierophant here. And your spiritual team, they're listening. I feel like for some of you, this is you kind of giving away, or I don't think that's the right word, but letting go of the past. You know, having more understanding over the cups have been knocked over. I feel like for some of you, you were connected to someone who I just feel like spirituality doesn't feel like it's really part of their life. And I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, right? Because to each their own. But if you have been evolving on a spiritual level, which means you're really trusting your guides, you're trusting your intuition, um, it makes sense that is no longer, let's say, in the same energy realm would naturally fade away. The human part of us pulls it back in. But I feel here, this is real clarity. This is real understanding. And this is the ability to let go of like sadness, or again, if I'm looking back, it's looking back in a way where you are finding emotional clarity. You are allowing yourself to have a new beginning. And yes, someone may be eclipsed out of your life. And maybe at the time you didn't think that's what I wanted. The eight and the one together, or nine, makes me think about the reflection. And that's exactly what this person is doing. But they're also in this prayerful state, and then judgment right above them. I mean, do I think your spiritual team hears you? 100%. All right, let's keep going. We have firm foundation, and then we have emotional loss. Five of Cups. 8 and a 5 together. Interesting. Okay. I feel like someone gave an old lover, or maybe even a current lover, the title of a soulmate, or even a twin flame. But I don't feel like that's the case. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't have been a soulmate, but it could have been a karmic soulmate. It doesn't feel like energy that was meant to last. It could have lasted for a while, because I feel like you went through a lot. Like, I feel like it's you who ended up like sad, not sure, almost like giving up on love. Um, you can't see it in this image, but Five of Cups is where I really am focusing on my past. I'm calling it a loss, but I feel like, but is it really? It feels like it was a loss, right? But in the realm of things, is it really? Because when this energy changes, well, there are 2 cups that are behind this 5 of Cups, and that represents the soulmate. I just feel like someone didn't want to make any changes. Someone had no interest in growing. Um, Someone had no interest in, you know, living life. How do I say this? Because it's not that I'm even putting them down, because I do feel like everyone has a right to live their life the way they want to live their life. But then we have to make that decision. Okay, well, is that right for me? And I definitely feel like no, it doesn't feel right for you. Um, and I just simply feel like someone just did not want to evolve. Almost like if I called them my soulmate, they'd be like, what the hell's a soulmate? Well, probably not you. All right, let's keep going. We have the moon again. So we have double Pisces, but also double Cancer. Because let's remember, the moon is Cancer's ruler. We do have double Leo. Even 8 of Cups could be Cancer. I love this image because this is what I was talking about earlier. This is where the light side of you is talking to the dark, talking to the shadow side of you, right? We have both. It feels like definitely spiritual quality. But I feel the importance of this energy is you coming into true balance. And I feel like balance is an important part of love. Like if I'm unbalanced, you know, and that can simply mean like my focus is still on the past. And I won't leave out that someone from the past could be returning, but if someone from the past is returning, then they've had to evolve. I feel like who I have right now really doesn't have that interest. But that's exactly why your spiritual team is getting involved here. That's exactly why when I planned on taking the day off, my spiritual team was like, no, you have to do this reading. Kind of like it's divine timing. And by the way, the moon can certainly represent uncertainties. And that can be scary for some, like, I can only see as far as the moon allows me to see. Um, but sometimes I'm not meant to move quickly because if we remember that it's really us writing our book, the story of our lives. Um, and if we remember that we're spiritual beings having human experiences, we tend to take less bullshit, let's just say. When you get to know you on all levels, it's very hard for someone to come in and try to, like knock you off your foundation. I feel like that's why Firm Foundation is here because that's what you've been building. And I feel like it is important that if I'm going to fall in love, that I be as ready as possible. And it's not even, I don't even feel like I'm doing this spiritual work, so to speak, for love. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it so I can live the best life possible. When you really are connected spiritually, you're able to let go of the things that really just don't matter. It reminds me of like, I don't know, my spirit guide just put it in my head. Like when I moved in with Sam, all I brought with me is 2 suitcases. And you think I'd miss all my material things. There's a few I do, but the majority, it's like I don't miss them. So it's kind of like cleaning house, so to speak. Wow, 9 of Cups. So this is great news, especially coming under the Ace of Swords, and it is mirroring the Lovers. 9 of Cups means you're finding inner harmony. I love that we have the 8 of Cups here because that's really what I'm seeking in the 8 of Cups is inner harmony. And the 9 of Cups, you found it. What helped you find this inner harmony? Getting to know, getting to know you, getting to know all sides of yourself, coming to balance, right? Like, I understand I have a shadow self, and there's times I need to bring that shadow self out. But it's also about fulfillment of wishes. So I love that it's mirroring the Lovers right now. To me, this is singular energy. So I do get the feeling that both of the Lovers are going to be in a single status. Maybe you're on your way to that. Again, I'm leaving the timing open, though I want it to be this year, but I do have a feeling it's going to be sooner than I even thought. So here comes a wish. Actually, this is fulfillment of wishes. And it feels like you really deserve it. I feel like there's a special treat, special blessings for those who start to understand that these earthly lessons, these earthly mm, difficulties, these lower vibrational energy where we were at one time also, but we made the decision to evolve. And I feel like this is like the universe recognizing that and blessing you for that. I feel like blessings are well earned. I don't feel like it's magic. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Well, I'm getting so many cards, but if that's what needs to happen, that's what needs to happen. All right. Look at this, the death card again. But now it's coming over or under the Eight of Cups. And it's mirroring judgment, your spiritual team. Spiritual team is asking for that transformation. By the way, here's my birthday. 9/13. Interesting. Um, Here comes the transformation. I feel like you have done this transformation, and now here comes something, love, that's also going to transform your life. We have the waiting game. I'm going to put that right there. We have temptation, card of Capricorn. And then beautiful. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card of Virgo. Look at this, two nines. Two nines aligning, inner harmony, fulfillment of wishes, material harvest. You know, it's like you're taking care of your life. It's like you're taking your past experiences and creating something with them. I feel like two independent energies here. And I love the Nine of Pentacles here because I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles, which by the way is now also mirroring the Lovers, I feel very independent in this energy. I feel I can take care of myself. By the way, when I say I mean you. I'm just literally you in a reading. That's why I say I all the time. I am you. Um, so I feel like we have two very strong people here. They do kind of feel like opposites. You know, like I could see water and earth. Do you know what's interesting is I almost did a reading with Pisces and Virgo together. Then this is what I've been thinking about doing. But then I planned on taking the day off, and then I kept hearing, no, do soulmates, but soulmate connections. Um, I'm not sure why I just brought that up. We have temptation right before this success, and it's mirroring the death card. And it reminds me of um, the strength card. And, you know, I feel like what this is saying is some of you have had a test. Let's just call it a karmic test to see if you could turn down certain type of energy that you know is not going to amount to a lifetime of love. So you had to turn it down. It's interesting because I also find that often when we, the ones who have evolved, the ones who care about evolving, you know, that means that your empathetic heart is leading, and that's a good thing. Um, but I do feel like just be careful because sometimes people who are not going to help your life evolve, that chances are you already have been with, could certainly try to come back in. And the reason why I feel that a lot is I feel the type of person who does that is someone who's like, well, I'm not going to show you the love you deserve, but I'll be damned if I want someone else to. It's like they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Well, we have to claim our power over that. God gave us power over the darkness. 15, 16, 18, or 17. Do I have it out? No. Um, okay, so I'm looking also at the waiting game here that's coming over this Five of Cups. And I feel like someone has had you in this energy of waiting for them to come around. But I feel like that, you can't let that happen either. I feel like that's where your spiritual team brought out the death card twice. Like, don't, like I feel like someone contacts you and then stops. And then they'll contact you again. And then they stop again. So it's like you get excited and then you get sad again. And then you get excited and you get sad again. But here's the thing, in the Five of Cups, remember, when you make that change, there's your soulmate. There is your true soulmate. So you do have to be able to say no. But of course, that is your choice. That's free will. And even your spiritual team can't come in between that. And maybe a little bit of what the hangman is like, be careful what you're wishing for, especially if you're wishing for someone who and you'd be paying attention to your intuition, then you would know that this person is not going to bring anything that's going to help you evolve in your life. If anything, I feel like you'll have to lower your vibration again. Why would you want to do that? And I feel like that's what you want to ask yourself. Like, why would I want to lower my vibration to be with you again after everything you've done to me? Right? You kept me on the hook. You go quiet on me. You say you love me, but then you don't show it. It could have even pulled you into I feel there's someone where it could have been like a lot of drinking or using of drugs. And I'm not putting that down. I'm just saying I feel like it's almost overkill. Um, and I feel like you've evolved past that, but they haven't. They may claim that they have, but they haven't. I feel that strongly. It doesn't mean I'm not talking about everyone in the world here. I'm talking about in this reading, I feel like this person has really not made any changes. And that is why the death card that's why the death card's in the middle. Closing of that door. It wasn't serving you anyways. This tower, I feel like it wasn't a one-time thing. Especially with the waiting game here and then the Five of Cups. I feel like it was probably over and over again. But here you are finding this emotional clarity, exactly what your spiritual team wants you to do. You are, I feel like, definitely closing the door to the past. And I don't mean everyone of the past, I mean those who choose to live in lower vibrational energy. You're just not comfortable in it anymore. Now, do I think it's going to take your strength to refuse them? I do, but I know that you can, but if you so choose. But yeah, I'm looking at these two beautiful nines that are mirroring the lovers, by the way. And by the way, this is a card of Virgo, card of Gemini, and they share Mercury. And Mercury is about communication. It's interesting. I believe Mercury is in retrograde right now, but it is in March. It's coming direct. Saturn just came direct. Is it Saturn or Mars? Um, it's the energy where you feel like nothing was going your way. You feel like you had a streak of bad luck, and then all of a sudden everything starts to change. Some of that is planetary action. I feel that. And I also feel the energy of the full moon, like something around a full moon. You know what I would tell you to do with this energy is during the full moon, let's say the Virgo full moon, which is what's coming up next, and it is a total lunar eclipse. This is when I would like write a letter, like put like on paper, write down everything you're feeling, um, all the ways that you're hurt, the things that you want to let go of, put it on paper. And, a symbol that you can do is burn it under the full moon. Doesn't have to mean you have to go outside, but be careful, you know. Um, and to me, that is a symbol to the universe that I'm willing to let go. But you can also write a letter of what you'd like to see in your life. So one letter is the letting go, and the other letter is the inviting in. Can be symbolically. It doesn't have to mean you have to actually write a letter. But for some of you, I definitely feel like that could help. Three cups on the bottom of the deck. Rejoice in celebration. Look at that. After conflict and defeat, a five, a change. No more. Now we're moving into much more joyful energy. That's what the Three of Cups is about. It's the energy of joy. It's something that makes you joyful. It means that something is coming into your physical life. Well, we're doing a soulmate reading, and that it does bring joy to your heart. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot so we don't make this too long. And let's give them a cut. Or shuffle. Now let's give them a cut. And the reason why I do this for anyone who's new is I like to introduce the next deck into the ongoing reading. We have the Four Cups. That makes sense. Four Cups talks about discontentment in one's emotional world. It is mirroring right now the Eight of Cups. Four Cups wants you to use your spiritual discernment. Why? For what? Because there's a cup coming in. Coming right from the hand of divine. Directly to you. But it's your spiritual discernment that's going to decide whether you accept it or you don't. Well, because it's coming over movement, choices, and decisions, I feel like you're going to accept it. But here comes that cup. Whether you say yes or no, here it comes. And because it's coming from the hand of divine, this is not lower vibrational energy. We have the Emperor card of Aries. Interesting, he's coming over the reversal of power, strength card. Emperor is normally someone that we can look up to. But something has me wondering here. Like, can I look up to you? I feel like I have someone here. I feel this is someone of your past. And although I feel like Financially, they're okay. Emotionally, I don't feel like they're okay. Well, they wouldn't say that. I would say that. I don't feel like this is someone who um, thinks of their faith often. Hmm. I feel like this emperor has fallen from grace. So where maybe one day I did look up to him, I don't feel like I am looking up to him any longer. Some of you, I feel like you could have been with someone who could remind you of like a father, your father. But for those that I'm speaking to, I feel like you probably didn't have a good relationship with your father. And I know that's not everyone, but there is a few that I definitely feel that energy. Like, I married my good old father, my good old dad, or, the relationship that I dedicated myself, you know, turned out to be just like my good old dad. Hmm. Sorry to put dads down, but at this moment, that's just what I'm feeling. We have the Page of Cups over the tower. Look at this. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. Four of Cups is receiving that cup. And now, here it comes. Right over the Ace of Swords. Right over the Lovers. Connected to both these beautiful nines, who I feel like are two different people in singular energy, or at least on their way. And this just feels like divine timing. I want to go back one card for a second, look at that Page of Cups. I feel like simply what that means is, where did you take the brunt of the pain? I feel like within your inner child. You know, it's interesting. All of a sudden, like I'm thinking, like I could have had a parent or, you know, someone that I looked up to who put me down, um, didn't treat me well. And it could have been something that you needed to clear that really has gone on for the majority of your life. You could have certainly been tempted to the bad girl, the bad guy. That's exciting at the moment, but doesn't make a great relationship. So that's the past. The Knight of Cups is about the present moving forward. And I love that it's coming over the Lovers. I love that it's coming over the Ace of Swords. So if there's any type of communication here, I feel like it is of the truth. And I don't feel like you'll doubt it at all. All right. We have the Queen of Wands. Well, this queen is action oriented. This queen moves according to her passions. Look how she's lighting that flame. It's like symbolically telling the universe, I'm ready for my flame, right? I've done this emotional work. I let go what I can let go of, right? I closed the door to what's no longer serving me. I'm no longer going to accept people who keep me hanging on a hook, who put me lower than themselves. That's not what I want. I don't want that in love anymore. This queen knows what she wants. Can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I really feel like this is talking about a queen who's willing to take action, especially coming over this eight, which is about, again, a new beginning. This queen would take that cup if it makes her feel passion at all, she'll at least say yes for the time being. And by the way, that cup that's coming in, it is coming over too. So, sometimes we don't have to rush. Because really it is about enjoying the romance of meeting someone, even if you know who this person might be. It's like the romance. I don't want to skip that, or at least your spiritual team's like, don't skip over that part. All right, we have the Two of Pentacles. So that does put the ball in your court. They call this a juggler's card, but I really think it's using your logical mind. And I love it's coming over firm foundation because I feel like it's you who has firmed up your own foundation. We have the Knight of Swords. Look at this, Nine of Cups again. The Five of Pentacles. And then, wow, another five, the Five of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards for a second because I want to start at the Five of Swords, which does talk about toxicity. It talks about often communication that just doesn't go well. It could be a lot of fighting, arguing. People want to be right, even if they're not right. They won't claim that. You know what I mean? Like they won't claim that you're right, I'm wrong. No, that won't happen. I feel like in the Five of Swords, because it's also coming over the Death card, it is talking about certain toxicity. And I know it's pulling back here. And then right before that is the Five of Pentacles. Well, that matches the Tower. So I feel like for some of you, you were in a relationship where someone was hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And I feel like, man, did it do a number on you? And do I think your spiritual team likes that? No. But they can't make you. They can't make you make these changes. You have to make them. You know, And I feel like what your spiritual team is saying is like sometimes these towers are really our friends. Sometimes these towers is what moves us into what becomes an unbelievable life. I feel like if someone is seeing someone who's got a drinking problem, I don't feel like they've overcome it. I just don't. So I also want to say, just be a little careful because you do have this cup coming in. It's coming through the Knight of Cups. This is where your spiritual team is leading you to. But then I do feel like, again, we may also have someone who, um, again, would be of lower vibrational energy who may also pop in. Venus is also in retrograde, which can bring back old lovers. But I need to make sure, like if an old lover shows back up, um, and it didn't work out, well, has anything changed? Has anything evolved? You know, and if it hasn't, there's your answer. Don't overthink it. But that happens a lot. Just when I decide that's it, I'm going to move on. Even I feel like for some, like this new lover, this your soulmate, may start to present itself, and this old person, I hate to even say love, because I feel like you were not treated well. They may try one more time. Some of you may give into it, but I feel a majority of you won't. Especially because of these nines down here. Because I feel like what's happening is you're finding yourself. You're reclaiming your voice. You're reclaiming your power. You're letting go of these emotional issues that really have held you back. You're no longer waiting on the hook to see if someone's going to call me or they're not going to call me. Are they going to communicate? Or are they not going to communicate? You're tired of it. And I feel that. Like, oh, I'm just tired of it. So don't be surprised if two come in. And it does kind of feel like a little bit like a test. And I know someone can be like, well, why would the universe test us like that? Well, who knows? Maybe this person who I don't feel like has treated you well was a karmic relationship. And that gives us an opportunity to clear that karma for good, for eternity. So it could be one last little test. Did you really clear that energy? Now, it doesn't mean like all the emotions are gone, right? Because you were hurt. And I feel like you were hurt deeply. So what am I going to do? I know what your spiritual team is advising you to do. All right. I want to just take a couple right underneath these three cards. And then we'll bring in the clarifying love situations. We have the Seven of Wands over the waiting game. Well, the Seven of Wands, that's defensive energy. I feel like somebody doesn't like to tell you what they're doing. Like I asked someone, like, what have you been doing? Like, why are you judging me? Stop judging me. I don't have to tell you everything I'm doing. Well, in a way, you kind of do if you want my heart. This is like also putting out their fires. I put out one fire, another fire begins. I don't feel like this is you defending yourself. I feel like it's them saying, I don't want to have to defend myself. I don't want to have to tell you what I've been doing. I don't want to have to tell you every step I take. And I'm not saying that's the way love should be, but this person feels very aggressive. Look at that, the tower again, right over temptation. And then the moon again. I swear to God, something is happening around the full moon. But we have a lot of Pisces, a lot of Cancer on the board. We really have everybody on the board. So much for giving signs, right? Um, but I feel like in these type of readings, if you're really trusting your intuition, trusting your spiritual team, you'll know where you're at. By the way, the moon, yes, it can talk about uncertainties, and that can be scary. But again, I feel like it's about learning to take a step into it, trusting your intuition, and then it becomes very dreamy energy. Let's not forget that. The moon can be very dreamy energy, mirroring the lovers, the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Swords, these two beautiful nines. And this Five of Pentacles, it feels like it doesn't fit, right? Well, the Five of Pentacles is like the tower. It's actually aiming right towards the tower. Well, let me tell you, in the Five of Pentacles, temporarily, it's difficult energy. But I feel the people in the Five of Pentacles are moving towards their soulmate clan, so to speak, like us, your soulmate family. I feel like your empathy, your compassion is very strong. And boy, do I feel like back here, there's not a lot of empathy. There's not compassion, but that's who you are. And I feel like saying, like, don't you want someone who also is compassionate, empathetic, cares about people, not just themselves? I feel like I'm trying to talk you into something. And I don't want to do that. I want you to use your own intuition. And although we have some difficult energy on the board, that all seems to be related to the past. And everything that seems to be coming in is quite beautiful. Again, here comes this cup. You're going to make a decision moving forward or not. But Knight of Cups, unexpected. Whatever I speak, it's the truth. Put you in a question mode. Should I or shouldn't I? Again, using the logical mind, not the fear-based mind. Um, I want to look at a couple things before I move on. I think I want to look at card just went flying. I want to look at the Four of Cups. And I want to know more about that cup that's coming in. Look at this, Temperance, Sagittarius. This is all about divine timing. Temperance's first message is patience. And it kind of feels like that's what Judgment is also asking. Patience. You're seeking wisdom. Your spiritual team is giving you that wisdom. It's your intuition that's letting you know. But this is all about divine timing. But the right time. And I'm looking at that cup that's coming in. How do I love that it's coming from divine's energy? That Four of Cups is asking you to use your spiritual discernment. This feels like perfect timing. Okay, so now I kind of want to move over to the Knight of Cups. And let's connect that cup. We know that cup is divine. Patience, which again is Temperance's first message. Could have been tied back to the Hangman. Could also be tied back to the Death card, right? Like, it wouldn't make much sense for me to usher in. Well, let's just put it this way. I feel like I'm being pulled back down to these nines again. And both of them are pretty secure. I feel like they're different, but the same at this, in the same time, if that makes sense. All right. The Hermit, card of Virgo. And then the Ten of Wands. Look at the Hermit. His lantern is illuminating those 10 wands. What does that mean? Well, I feel like in the Ten of Wands, it feels like some of you may have the tendency. Listen, I feel like when you're in true love, then this energy doesn't happen. But what I'm feeling is the Hermit, which is about your spirituality. The Hermit can mean that you've gone through the dark night of the soul. I feel like someone kind of caused that. But we can't put all the blame on them, right? Because we have to take account of our own lives at the same time. But the hermit is about your spiritual wisdom, what you're learning along the way. I often feel the hermit's an old soul. And what he's illuminating are these 10 wands. And I feel like what it is saying is you may have a tendency, or let's just say in a prior relationship, where you know that the brunt of the responsibility of keeping the two together was clearly on your shoulders. I feel like this past energy, it's showing nothing but negative, hard, difficult energy for you. I feel like, are just like, whatever, whatever. Reminds me of my ex-husband all of a sudden. We're in the year of the hermit also. Interesting. So this is the end of a 9-year cycle. The world signifies the new cycle getting ready to open up. I do feel like it's important for us to ask ourselves, what do I want to bring along on this new cycle? What do I want to leave behind? You now have that spiritual wisdom. You just have to trust it. You carry the light. Brothers have no interest in the light. You do. And so will this love. I have a feeling both are compassionate. I have a feeling both are old souls. It's interesting because it's lining up with the other nines. And for some of you, we do have a double Virgo. Um, but when you see a nine is about reflection, but it's about final reflection. It's not energy I'm meant to live the rest of my life in. It can talk about looking back at the last 9 years, starting in 2017. What was going on? What have you learned? How have you grown? Let's take everybody else out of the picture for a moment. How have you grown? This talks about the things that you've overcome. Some of these things you had no choice, right? It's like these towers were probably something you didn't hope for, but in a way, it's really ultimately going to bring you everything that you could imagine. Reflection feels like an important part of this. I got to know what I want, and I got to know what I don't want. I hope and pray that those who have found themselves in a relationship with someone who is not giving you the love you deserve, they're causing you angst, they're causing you heartache, they're in and out. I hope you really reflect upon that and simply ask yourself, is that what you deserve? Is that how you want your life to be? Do I want to allow that in this next chapter? Or do I want to say no? And I feel like that's kind of what judgment is waiting for. I also feel for some of you, you have been single for a while, but I feel like that has also served you, because I feel like being in this independent energy, it's really allowed you to, well, firm up your own foundation. And listen, when we know we can take care of ourselves, there's very little bullshit we'll take. Okay, let's bring out the clarifying love situations. I feel like what I want to do is I want to pick up the majority of this. And I want to give this love its own messages. So we're going to pick up this. We're going to leave this. We're going to bring out the Lovers. Judgment, I'm going to put right over here with the World. And I'm going to pick up the rest. Okay. Now, I just kind of want to concentrate on this energy. Let's not forget, Judgment is speaking to you. You can actually bring these a little closer so you can see them. Yeah. All right. You know, I feel like it's interesting how I just cleared the table of all the cards. I feel like that's symbolic to our lives. Like the clearing of, the fat, the clearing of what no longer serves us. You know, I feel like a lot of you're really understanding what it is you want in love and what it is you don't want in love. And I feel like that's important to know. And I feel because you yourself have strengthened your own foundation, then I'm not even worried. Like, I'm not even worried. Let's not forget temperance, divine timing, was part of ushering in this new cup. The Lovers, it's an undeniable chemistry, and the angels' influence over it. Your spiritual team calling you to the present moment. That means now. Some of you, this is your sign. All right. Open hearts. So this deck has a message on either side, or whether it's upright or reverse. There really is no upright or reverse. Open hearts. In vulnerability, we talk and reveal, forging deeper connections through honesty. There's your Ace of Swords. There's your Ace of Swords, but opened hearts. Open hearts. We talk and reveal, forging deeper connections through honesty. Enlighten truths. Share your insights, spreading awareness with the power of honesty. Come on. Honesty on both these cards. It's the last word on both these cards. It's the difference between untruths and truth. Honesty. Enlightened truths. Open hearts. Do you think that's what your spiritual team would like from you? I do. All right, let's bring in the romance angels. I want to try not to forget Mother Mary. All right. Healing family issues. Funny how I kept talking about dad. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. I have goosebumps right now. I have a feeling so does somebody else or a few of you because I feel like we're resonating on the same energy. Healing family issues. Some of you, your parents may not even be on this earth any longer. It doesn't mean you can't still forgive them. And yes, I know that is a personal choice. But forgiveness doesn't have to mean like I'm picking up phones, calling people. Just you forgiving within your heart. So it is kind of interesting how I was picking up dear old dad. We have stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Faith we had through the Hierophant. That's really what it is, your faith. This is your intention. Positive thinking. I gotta believe it. I gotta believe that. I mean, why can't great love find you? It can. You know, I found my great love, and it wasn't until I was 58. And you know, I've been through some deep relationships, but nothing compares. It just doesn't. And that's what I mean. Like when you meet a soulmate or a twin flame, you instantly have this feeling. You may not be able to put a name to it, but it's like there's this feeling within you. Okay? Let's go on the other side now. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. That means don't put a lot of expectations. Not that you shouldn't have expectations. Maybe that wasn't the right word. Um, because certainly you should have expectations. But I feel like what this is saying, what I felt earlier is, it's about enjoying the journey and remembering that, you are the author of your book, of your life. So you're writing this chapter. You decide whether it's going to be romantic, exciting, or you're just going to skip that chapter. I feel like the romance is going to be, mm, 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 mm. So, so good. I definitely feel like this person, if you just look at the image, again, I feel the difference of them. It's funny how that little girl's kind of like pulling back, protecting her mother. Like she doesn't want to see her mom hurt. Maybe she's experienced her mom going through pain before as it relates to love. And it's interesting because now I'm wondering, is this little girl picking up on this energy where like now I'm not going to trust love? But anyway, this is about going with the flow. Express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture. Enjoy it. Here's the thing. Your true soulmate. I'm not going to say anyone's perfect because none of us are perfect. There is no such thing. Not on this earthly plane. But we can get pretty close to it. What was I going to say? Dang it. Forgot what I was going to say. All right. I want to go above it and I'm going to go below it. I feel like what this is saying is, and again, I want to remind you why I'm doing this reading because I know soulmates are coming together. I know it. But I also know this reading is saying that there's certain elements that can come in between this, what feels like love that just wants to flow. And I feel like everything is before it, like healing these family issues, staying optimistic about your love life, positive thinking. Someone asked me what I mean when I say planting seeds. It's your seeds of intention. It's like picturing how you want your life to look, but knowing that you have to match that vibration, right? I can't wish. I mean, I can wish for like the highest form of love, but I got to be able to match that energy. And I feel like this is going to go, I hate to use the word slow because it's not going slow because it's going slow so that you really can enjoy each and every moment, but it's also going slow. And I feel like slow is the wrong word. But until I come up with a better word, I'm going to say slow. So that you feel comfortable, so that you can really feel that well, this is your person. Getting to know you, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. There you go. That's probably why I kept feeling like taking it slow. I feel like communication is everything here. I feel like this is how trust is developed. This is how you'll know. By the way, look at that. There's that little girl with the mum again. That has got to mean something for someone. Free yourself and the rest will follow. It's time to take back control of your life. Forgiving and learning. There seems to be a lot of lessons here, but kinda. But these lessons are really just so you can evolve. It's the ability to let go, and really just allow it to happen naturally. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. That's a clue. Present moments. Free yourself from what has been holding you back. Doesn't even have to, I won't even put in a person to it. Just what's ever happening in your life. Don't forget, you're being asked to make sure your heart is opened. It's telling you that the truth that's going to be spoken through these conversations, which is exactly what they're doing. They're having these conversations. They're getting to know each other, and it deepens their bond. Well, it's enlightened truths. I'm going to go right in the middle. Well, that didn't take long. This could be the one. You already met the romantic partner you seek. Now, yes, this could be someone that you already know. And I felt that in the beginning for some of you, but it's not that person who treated you like shit. And I'll tell you why. Because now we have pay attention to the red flags. And I know what that means. I feel it. I felt it immediately. I feel like it's tied back to those who have been like on this off and on again type of energy, type of relationship. Yet, to me, it's very clear. And I feel like it should be very clear to you that this person doesn't have, and it really has nothing to do with you. I know it, of course, it feels like it does, but it's because they, oh, look how my lights just blinked. It's because they, um, well, they're just satisfied with their life. Yeah, they're getting their cake and they're eating it too. But let me tell you, they're going to have to pay back that karma. The day will come. Not that we even have to worry about it, but this is just the way life works. So yeah, they could treat, and I'm sure you weren't the first person they treated like shit. So, it's like their karma will come. And for some of you, this was your karma. So I feel like your guides are saying, just when this starts to enter, so could someone else. But we will make sure that you know the difference. That's what the red flags are. Another reason to be open, right? To be in the present moment. This could be the one. This is the one. You've already met each other. Some of you, it can be someone from this lifetime, but we're doing soulmates. So you do know each other on a soulmate level. Oh, why didn't I take that in the middle? All right, so now I feel like I want to take one right in the middle. Look at this. Very soon. So, we started the reading by saying, I felt like soulmates. Well, no, I don't feel like it. I know soulmates are coming together in 2025. Um, but then very quickly I started to feel like, oh, it's sooner than even I thought. And now we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. You know what you don't want, which helps you know what you do want. Some of these difficult relationships, that's exactly what they're teaching us. We don't have to overthink it. Sometimes it's just literally we're learning the type of love we want in our life, but we're learning how to also be that. This is coming soon to a town near you. All right, I want to take Mother Mary over the reading. It's interesting. I have a side lamp over here you guys can't see, though I wish you could because it's beautiful. Um, and I am going to change my room around so you will be able to see. But anyway, I pay attention to, okay, we'll take that and we'll take that. I pay attention to, like when my light blinks, I notice what I'm saying at that time. So I would tell you to do the same. All right. We have children. I'm beginning children a lot for March. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive changes for them and me. I wonder if it's talking about that little girl. And by the way, that little girl, that's what the past life reading was about. A little girl and her journey to true love. We got soulmates in that reading. So, and the only reason I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you to go watch it unless you choose. But I am feeling the tie to it. Just like I felt it with the twin flame. Like I was going to do a twin flame reading, and then my guys are like, no, go back first. So I did the past life reading first. And then I did the twin flame reading, and it made so much sense. But soulmates also came out in that reading. And that's why I do feel like it's also tied back to that. So when you know this person, right, you already know the person, this is the one. Um, I do feel like for some of you that this lifetime, the seeds were already planted that the two of you would come together. And, often I feel like when something is predestined, there's also lessons. Like we want to be the best versions of ourselves. But to be the best versions of ourselves, then we have to know what different experiences feel like. And then we have, well, hello, present moment. I am fully present in the here and now. So Mother Mary is matching judgment, who is asking you to be in the present moment. But now so is Mother Mary. And by the way, very soon is right in between. Some of you could be a single parent. You may think that's like that, like someone won't accept you because of that. It's not true. I feel like if you have children, if they have children, and you come together, well, when you come together, I feel like each will love the other's children like their own. I feel like it'll be a beautiful blended family. I'm not saying everyone has children, but there is something that's tying back to this little girl that's going the whole way back to past lives. Now, I'm talking about past lives, and I really do think you should watch that reading because I feel like it'll help bring you some clarity. But I also want to talk about the importance of you being present in the here and now. Be excited for the potential of what wants to come into your life. Again, it does kind of feel predestined now. And that means everything was meant to happen. All these lessons that I've been learning, though they were so difficult, you did overcome them. And you need to be proud of yourself about that. And you now know what you don't want. You know it. And that's an important component to love. Again, don't look for perfection unless you yourself are perfect. But we know that none of us are. But yet, don't skip these, what I feel are going to be beautiful, deep conversations. Like, I just feel it. Guys, I feel it. I feel it. It feels good. I do feel like there will just be one more test, not for everyone. If you relate back to, again, where someone was in that waiting game, there just might be one more test. But I feel like you can pass this test. Especially if person from the past who is not good for you tries to come in at the same time this is coming in. You'll just feel the difference. And I feel like very quickly you'll shut down that door. Now, I know everybody won't. I hope you do. But it is up to you. But boy, does your spiritual team want you to move forward. This, especially with the world right here, I feel like this is signifying the potential. And I say potential because we have free will. And no one can predict your free will, or no one can tell you, that you can't have free will. It is always going to be your decision. It's your decision to wait for someone to come around, and your decision to say no more, no more, no more. Is your decision as this new love comes towards you, whether to at least give it an opportunity? I don't know why I'm trying to talk you into it. I'm really not, because I want you to follow your own intuition. But I feel like, again, for anyone who's got like a little fear, let's say, I feel like through communication, it'll clear that up. And, that's why the Ace of Swords was connected not only to the lovers, but also judgment, helping to ease your mind. But you really don't need your spiritual team to ease your mind here. I feel like the energy alone will be such a clue for you. Everything is calling you to the present moment. It means let the past be the past. Even if someone from the past is coming back, I do feel like, again, someone not so good. I want to close that door. But some of you just can talk about old love that, especially with Venus in retrograde. But this wouldn't be someone that or let me put it a different way, because I feel when we reach a certain level, like when we're ready for this soulmate energy, that means we have evolved, right? We know our worth. I feel like so does this other person. So if you already know him, then this would not be someone who, um, would be fighting you, you know? It'd be the opposite. They would be winning you over. They would want to win you over. But I don't mean that as like you're the prize. I have to say, I have to tell you, this little girl just is on my mind. This little girl who I believe now is a woman. So I'm going to leave it up to you whether you want to watch that pass. I'll put it on the end screens. Um, but then, if you do decide to watch it, I'd love to see how it resonates with you with this reading also. So I'll connect the two and then I'll leave it up to you. But I think I'm going to let that be. Again, this is happening soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Present moment energy. It's the number one factor of ushering everything in. Okay, gonna let that be. I swear I end readings and I continue to talk. I thank you all. I love you. Um, I love my spiritual team. I love your spiritual team. Um, and I'm saying that because I can feel the importance of this reading. I hope it was clear. I hope you could feel it. And, is it for everyone? Well, maybe not the whole reading, but I definitely feel you should find yourself within it. I feel like if you have no interest in loving again, then this probably isn't your reading, even though that love's coming in an unexpected way. And you are being asked to open your heart, but it's two open hearts. Both hearts are open. Enlightened truths. That's what's going to come through this communication. Enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your life. Amen. All right, here I am talking again. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Happy loving. Bye bye.